morning and welcome to the first chapter on the renovation diaries.
We are kicking off work in the basement because we have a problem.
Our house is sinking. Come with us as we show you exactly what the problem is. So our house is made up of two sections. The part we're in now is the extended part. We don't know when it was put in, maybe in the 50s or something like that. The ground is a little bouncy, which we can address later, but it is relatively straight and we're not sure if we need to level it, but we can do some measuring later. If we go over to the other side of the house, now this section is the original, and as we've said before, it was built in the 18th century and it is not straight. It's sunk a lot, and let me show you just how much it is sunk. So here I have a laser set up on the highest point of the floor, and if you look at the laser line, we're at about 4.5 inches, and if we go to the other side of the house, it's a little faint, but we're almost 6.5 inches. As you can see, we've made a start on the demolition here because all of this wiring was all up against the beams, and of course, because we're putting a sister beam next to it on either side, we needed to just take the cable off so that we had a clear working space, so that nothing was in the way and nothing would get pinched and we wouldn't have to notch out anything on the sister boards. We also have to do the same with the plumbing on this side. As you can see, a lot of the piping butts straight up against the beams, and because our sister boards are 10 inches deep, they come to around this level, so we need to get all of our plumbing to come to that level as well. And while I'm doing that, Jen is going to make a start on just trying to tidy this up and just cable tying this and trying to tuck it out the way so this doesn't get in the way when we're trying to do the main bulk of the work. So I'm going to make a cut here. This pipe running along this way goes down to the well, and I'm basically going to bypass the well piping to come up to this section here so that it's in the middle of two joists. It's not up high or anything. Got my bucket in case there's a spillage. I have disconnected the water already and no water came out of the tap, so I'm hoping that's enough, but you never know. Let that all drain out. Oh no. We we got quite lucky because all of my tools are in metric. Being that we are British, all of my tools are in metric, but they seem to be working with the 1/2 inch pipe and the 3/4 inch pipe. Don't seem to have any issues with it. He says, when this one actually doesn't fit on there at all. I jinxed myself. Fortunately, when we bought the house, the previous owner left a bunch of stuff behind. And I believe this, I don't know if it's old-fashioned or more professional, but this I believe to be an adjustable pipe cutter. If it isn't, I don't know what it's for, but I can definitely make it work for what I need it for. That doesn't seem to be working. And I think this might be a thread maker, because it's making a thread. I've never seen a tool like this before. See there, it's making a thread rather than cutting it. That's disconnected now. I'm just going to shove this out of the way. That's an old piece. Now we have smaller size packs. We've got a bunch of it. I know I don't need very much now, but we'll be using a lot of this in the future. So if anyone's ever used Perspex before, please tell me how you get it straight. I cannot get this thing straight. That ain't pretty, but it's done. I'm just going to open up the valve. And we are as dry as a bone. So, speaking of stuff that the previous owner has left behind, his left tools, his left gardening stuff, everything that's really helpful with the house. One thing that is not so helpful. Look at the size of this snakeskin. That's not fun to be around. Now, we have had a snake in the basement. Actually, we've had a couple of snakes in the basement. And
yuck! It makes my skin crawl.
Jen does not like snakes. And how many did I get out? 2. I got 2 out of the basement.
Yeah. I was having a panic attack.
Jen was having a panic attack, throwing her hands around.
Literally in tears.
Nearly crying. And so I got 2 out. We've seen a bunch of them around the property, and there is potentially one still down here, because that snakeskin is new. We haven't seen him in a little while, and we've spent some time, if you look over here, spent some time sealing up all of the holes to try and make it snake free. But I think we might have trapped one in here. We haven't seen him in a little while, and that snakeskin is new. So
yeah,
when we come to demo this basement properly and open up all of the wood paneling that's around the outside, stay tuned for a snake. In which I'll have to get out and Jen will be running around the house.
Screaming.
Screaming.
I'm not joking. That will happen.
This is our resident DIY cat, Dusty.
What's your name, Dusty? Say hello.
Hello.
Say Good morning, it's day 2 working in the basement. Yesterday we lugged all of the timber down here, which took much longer than anticipated, but we've got our supplies here and we're ready to get working.
And let me explain a little bit about what we have to do down here. So if you can see here, the house is held up by tree trunks, and 150-year-old tree trunks at that. We believe due to that's probably the reason the house is sagging. So what we're going to do is we've got a whole bunch of 2x10s that we're going to put one on either side, put a bolt through to pinch it together so that it takes the load off of this and then onto the 2x10s, and then we'll have a main beam going across that will push the joists up and hopefully level it out. So what we're doing today is we're getting rid of stuff like this here because it will be in the way of our beam. We've cleared a lot of it already, the plumbing and the electrical, but now it's more about the excess woodwork that's in the way, so we can make some space for ourselves to do the job. This house is already falling apart. I don't know if you heard that, but turned to pieces. There's old termite damage throughout this house. If you see here, this is all old termite damage. We've had it inspected. There's no live termites, so we're not worried about that. But it means that a lot of the wood is just falling apart in our hands. We have our first two sister boards in place. As you can see here, there's a nice big gap that we need to fill before we can bolt this in properly, because we want the load of the floorboards to be on these, not on the old post. In order for us to get this flush, we have set up this post here that is on a jack, and we're slowly going to jack it up until the top half is flush. I have two posts set up, one here and one there, and we're gonna lift a little by little on either one until it's nice and flush, and then we'll put some tack nails in and then some bolts, and the bolts will help squeeze it against the old beam, and it should be nice and secure from there. So let's start sticking it up. We might hear some creaking. That's normal. I can already hear it. And that gap is already closing. Feels weird being under this while it creaks, but okay, that was just the board in the middle. We're okay. That's why you that's why you don't put the support in the middle. That makes sense. Okay.
What happened?
Heart moment. So what we did, I can show you, and I had a feeling this wasn't going to work, but we had this thick board here that was
like what this one is?
Yeah, so it was spread across and we were pushing from the middle and it broke in the middle.
Right.
So we need to move these supports so that it's got a support on either side, which might just mean that we need to do one beam at a time, which is fine. We'll do that from now.
Oh, okay. So you need to have a post on this side?
Yeah, just supporting just that.
As well as this side?
Well, we can do one at a time.
Right, I see what you're saying.
We'll do one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So that is the first joist done. We didn't quite get enough footage of it lifting it. It turned out to be a bit harder than we thought it was going to be to film it and lift it. That's now in place. We're going to lower it and do the other side just before doing the bolts going straight through. The bit that we used, we managed to drill one hole, but it essentially got stuck and we had to spend 20 minutes getting it back out. So we're gonna have to stop it there until we can get a longer bit, because I don't want to keep having to spend 20 minutes on one hole. We didn't quite get to where we wanted to get with it, but 2 of the joists are in, they're secured, they're not going anywhere. We'll just come back next week and put the bolts in.